Hello and welcome to day 27, we think, of Feast for the Soul. It's Monday anyway, and it's the 10th of February. My name is Susie von Menzenkamp, and I'm coming to you live from West Cork in Ireland. And I am absolutely thrilled to be here. Passionate meditation teacher, trained with Dr. Deepak Chopra and Sarah McLean in the McLean Meditation Institute. And I've been practicing away myself here for about 15 years. And so, what I want you to do is begin this meditation practice with just taking a moment to ask yourself, what would I really, really love to manifest in my life a little bit more of? And the question that we were asking was relating to whether it's something more physical, to do with your physical body, something material in your material world, something mentally, something to do with your mental health, your mental well-being. Or is it a more spiritual intention to really deepen your practice? And even if you don't have the answer to that, I encourage you just to sit with that question for the next couple of days and maybe even journal or do some writing with it. But we're going to meditate now with the idea that we're going to move from this state of stillness and silence into something more dynamic and coming back again. So we're going to move our attention and our awareness using this meditation practice. We're going to connect with our DNA. And everybody has a unique DNA. So I think maybe some of what you're hoping to create or manifest in your life is possibly coded already within you. So to begin the practice, we're going to let go the questions and begin to relax your body. Do whatever it takes to be comfortable. And we'll meditate here together for probably about 20 minutes. Remember that comfort is key. So we want to notice, where is there movement happening in your body? Now you sat still, so your body isn't moving anymore, and ideally now your eyes are closed. But I want you to meditate on the subtle movement that's happening in your body. What's moving now? Maybe your breath is moving, maybe your abdominal breathing, your chest, your rib cage may be expanding and contracting. So there's a lot of subtle movement happening. If you swallow some saliva that's in your mouth now, you'll notice the movement of that saliva. So there's still, even though we're sitting still, there's this constant movement on a more subtle level. Connecting with how you're breathing now. Noticing the airflow, the temperature of your breath. And there's this connection with the external environment and your internal environment. You could visualize this as maybe even a figure of 8. As you exhale, the breath is coming out, and then it flows back in when it's ready and it's time to inhale again. And so that's one movement. Now, while that breath is happening automatically of its own accord, there's something else pulsing in your body, your pulse, the pulsations, connecting to your heartbeat. So if your hands are resting on your lap and you're comfortable to just set your fingers on your wrist and just see if you can connect with your physical pulse. And if you can't find it, don't worry about it too much. It's an idea. So you can just connect with the idea that there's a pulsating happening, the movement of your heart beating. It's an electrical beat. So now that's two rhythms happening, the breath and the pulse. And if you can imagine that figure of 8 now, see if you can start to notice a point where perhaps your breath and your pulse start to regulate together, coming into coherence. There's a merging of your breath, your pulse, and maybe how your mind is, your thoughts. I want you to be the witness, the observer. So you don't have to judge it, just observe. Now, the other movement in your body is the liquid, the water in your body. Your body is made up of 70% water. So, this water, this liquids, these fluids are being moved around your body effortlessly, pulsating all the way through your veins to your extremities and back to your heart. So let's start to see that pulsation within. Imagine it, feel it. You can let go of feeling your pulse and just start to connect with your heart. Everything is happening so effortlessly. Now I want you to expand that awareness from your heart out beyond the confines of your physical body. And just imagine, if you will, the moon, the lunar light. Maybe it's early in the day wherever you are and there's no moon present, but just visualize the moon wherever it is located right now in relation to you. So you're expanding your awareness to consider the moon. And imagine now this figure of 8 from the moon to the earth. And again, the effect of the moon on the earth with the tides. Noticing how the moon affects the tide. The tide goes in, and then the tide goes back out in a beautiful, perfect, natural rhythm. Just imagine the earth with all of the oceans and seas. And the gravitational effect of the moon on the earth and the tides. in this dynamic exchange. And now, from this expanded idea, moving back into yourself, allow yourself to connect with the water in your body and maybe engaging with what the moon does within your own body, the effect of the lunar rhythm and the circadian rhythm on your body. Settling into this practice, coming into coherence. I invite you now to imagine your DNA, the molecules that carry all of the genetic information for the development and functioning of you, of your being, the molecules of your life. Your DNA is made of two strands that wind around each other, looking like a twisted ladder. We know this shape as a double helix. So you're coded for this. So moving from the molecules of your DNA, expanding that to the heart, extending and expanding from your heart back to your extremities, to your breath, to the airflow. So there's this continuous expansion, and then an even more gentle contraction. So as you settle in, I invite you to connect with this flow, this fluid being in dynamic exchange with the external environment and your internal environment. It's fluid. This is the flow. Feel yourself now being filled up from the inside with a substance resembling a warm honey. This warm honey turns to liquid gold. And it's moving to every cell in your body, every molecule. And this intelligence is where your life is coded. You're coded, programmed for life. And as an observer, I invite you to surrender into your divinity, who you truly are now. Imagine you're connecting with that inner field, the source of all wisdom, that wise one within. We're going to use an affirmation as we hold our attention on this presence. We'll affirm, I am present. I am present. It's a silent repetition. It's gentle. I am present. As you continue to affirm the I am presence within, see if you can continue that fluid motion of the microcosm with the macrocosm, gentle expansion and contraction. So that presence within expands with presence beyond. Exploring the universal field, that expanded field of awareness. And then back to your individuated consciousness within. I am present, expanding with the universal. I am present. So when you're in that individuated consciousness, feel that contraction coming in to your heart. And then as you expand that awareness of who you truly are into that universal field, you start to feel that you're not just the drop in the ocean, but you're the whole ocean is in you. I am present. From the microcosm to the macro, letting the whole practice go now. Simply rest in being. Float here in your stillness and silence. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do. Simply float. We'll begin to draw this practice to a close by gently placing your fingers again on your wrist to take your pulse. Or if you wish, you could place it on your heart, whatever feels good. But come back to that flow, that rhythm of your pulse, of your breath. And we'll take this moment to really integrate the benefits of your daily commitment to meditation, coming back to yourself again and again and again. I'm going to close the practice with the sutra Sat Chit Ananda. So you can say that maybe 3 or 4 times silently to yourself. Sat, which is truth. Chit, which is consciousness. Ananda, bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. As much as we'd love to all hang out here for another hour or so in this juicy space, unfortunately our time is up for the practice, so you want to come nice and gently out of it. Come with a smile. See if you can bring the corners of your mouth towards your ears and really smile to yourself for showing up for the 40 days of the Feast for the Soul, for Mindful Mondays. Whether it's your first time or you've been here every week for the last 4 or 5 years, just really celebrate that. Take a stretch, whatever feels good. I love to complete the practice by feeling gratitude, actually, and really feeling gratitude first to yourself for prioritizing your self-care. And this is the ultimate act of self-care. Take a bow to that presence within you, which calls you to your meditation day after day after day. Sometimes you hear it, sometimes you don't, and it's all okay. But really take a bow to that divine presence within you. And then I love to bring the back of my thumbs to my chest here and really feel my heart connecting. And I want to ripple out some of the merits of this practice out into this group, because it takes the village. We all have to show up for this to happen. I probably wouldn't do it if I was sitting here on my own, like this. So, you bring out the best in each other, and I really, really am grateful for that. And your willingness to help each other and just to be present. I think it's really quite profound. So deep, deep gratitude to everybody who's joined us live, and obviously to anybody who's listening to this as a recording. Namaste. And the divine light in me honors and recognizes the divine light in you. When I'm in that space and you're in that space together, we are one. Ask us to see how to turn this